This build is pointless because the suspension sits too high and it needs to be modified. The kit itself is overpriced and the roof doesn't line up correctly. It needs to be modified too. Hey guys, and welcome back to Bricks and Chill, where you join me here today for another exciting build. Now this one has been much anticipated by myself. It's one that I've been looking forward to for a very long time. I cannot wait to get this one on the channel and share it with you. One of the slightly bigger models in the range, it's a 110 scale, and this is what it is. It's the Porsche, obviously, the stunning white Porsche endurance race car here. As you can see in the box is quite a bit bigger than some of the other models that I've featured on the channel. It's the Porsche 911 RSR there that you can see, and RSR is a German term and it literally translates to racing sport race car, which is a little bit funny, but anyway, there you go. Just admiring some of the lines here at the front end of the model itself. So much detail goes into it and I cannot wait to get going with those headlights. I just think they look stunning, and the wheels, I cannot wait to see the size of the wheels. I've heard that this is quite a big model, so you know the wheels should be quite a bit bigger from, again, the other models that I've had on the channel. A lot of the details there on the top end. We've got the little antenna and all of the other lines that go along the windshield and along the doors there, and the wing mirrors and everywhere else. Got a really big side skirt there on the side of the model, which then contributes towards the aero, and of course the huge spoiler at the rear end of the model itself. Absolutely fantastic. Got a little logo there in the bottom right hand corner, and I have to say now, to be honest, the box looks absolutely stunning at the front. So let's have a little look here at the back. Again, I have to apologize for the light. It's sort of blocking part of the model, but that's okay. You get the idea. First thing you'll see here is that we have a view of the rear end of the model, and it does look really, really good from the back. There you've got a view of the actual RSR endurance car itself in real life, and we've got some stats there from it. We've got the weight, which is 1,243 kilos. So, you know, it's got a water-cooled 6-cylinder boxer engine, 510 brake horsepower, and there's a picture of the engine itself that will come together in the model. Or sorry, there's the engine there. You've got the 6-cylinder engine with, of course, the moving pistons in the engine, which is really, really exciting, and I cannot wait to get the model together to see how the pistons actually move in unison with each other, obviously when the wheels are spinning. It's an exciting time for me, this, to be honest. It's one that I've been waiting for quite a while, and I'm just sort of playing around with the weight of the box there. It's quite a heavy box, which, you know, always makes me a little bit nervous, and yeah, really, really excited overall, to be honest. So, yeah, I think you've heard quite enough about the box itself. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to flip the box over. I'm going to get the box open with my knife, because it's not actually one of the little pull tab boxes. It's one that we have to cut open, which I like. I like having to take the knife and having to cut open the sellotape. It makes it that wee bit more exciting for me. You know, that's probably a bit silly. Yeah, so I'm sort of wondering here at the minute how many bags there will be, and if they'll be split up into, you know, bag 1, bag 2, bag 3 there. I don't really mind if they're not split up in that way, and immediately I can see that the bags are not numbered. So I'm taking the bags out sheepishly here, because I know that there's going to be a lot of organization going on with this particular build in order to get the pieces set out in a way and a manner in which I can access them easily to, you know, complete the build without any headaches. So yeah, again, I'm taking the bags out quite slowly here, and I'm starting to feel a little bit nervous. There's quite a few pieces here and nothing's numbered. So I'm trying to sort of formulate a plan in my head as to how am I actually going to organize all of these pieces. Am I going to form a strategy? And what I mean by that is, I'll just get rid of the box here for a second. What I mean by that is, am I going to set out some of the bags? Am I going to try and have a little peek inside the bags and say, okay, right, well, I don't maybe need that one until the end. What am I going to do here? So that's what I'm at here at the minute. I'm just having a little look at some of the body panels and some of the pieces that I may or may not need. And I'm trying to just get an overall view of how many pieces are in this particular set. It is one of the bigger sets overall, and I knew that from the beginning, so I knew there were going to be quite a few pieces. But yeah, there's our pieces, there's our bags, not numbered again. I've said that about 3 times. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 bags, plus quite a few stickers, and there we've got our tires along the top end there. So yeah, quite a lot of bags, quite a lot of pieces going on here. We've got our instructions here. Quite a meaty book, I do have to say. There's a bit of weight to this book. Now the book actually came in a clear film cover as well, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just cutting that open. Yeah, I don't really know why they put a clear cover on it. None of the other sets I've had or I've built have actually came with a cover on it, but I suppose it's pretty cool nevertheless. It protects the stickers, and it just meant that the stickers didn't come dog-eared and they weren't damaged at the sides and they weren't creased and bent like some of the other sticker sets have been in the past, unfortunately. I absolutely, oh my god, there's two sets of stickers. I didn't even realize that. So, two sets of stickers here. I'm just trying to sort of have a little peek at where the stickers actually go on the model, but I suppose we'll set them aside and we'll come back to that later on. Yeah, I absolutely love the sticker set, to be honest. I love the designs in this particular model. I think they look absolutely fantastic on the model itself. Some models in the range, I'm not sure if the stickers really complement the model, but we'll talk about that further down the line. This particular set, I love the stickers that go onto it. I think it gives it that endurance stance to the model itself. Just having a little flick through here now, just trying to get a gist for how this model is going to go. Having a little flick through there and just sort of getting an idea of how many pages are in the booklet itself. And it's, yeah, quite a beefy booklet. We've got quite a few hundred pages here. So yeah, I have a feeling this one's going to take a while. I have a feeling this is going to be quite a challenging one too. Just admiring some of the pictures here of the model itself towards the end of the instructions manual, where we get a better view of the cockpit, better view of the engine bay, and all of the other features sort of within the model itself. Really good view of the back end there, and I have to say the back end for me is probably my favorite element of this model. And as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, I've actually based the video on the back end because I absolutely love how aggressive it looks, the model itself. And there's a nice head-to-head view of the actual Porsche 911 RSR endurance race car compared to the model, face-to-face, head-to-head. Don't they look absolutely fantastic? So yeah, there's our instruction manual. There's our bags of parts. I think you've heard quite enough from me. So yeah, without further ado, let's get going with this build. Everything's sitting out, everything's going. At this point, again, I don't really have a plan as to how I'm going to organize the parts themselves, which is making me slightly nervous at this point. We've got our tires there. I can safely say that we won't need them until the end, so I can set them aside for now. As for the rest of the pieces, got a lot of colors going on here. There's our alloy wheels, obviously, so we don't need them either, so I think we can safely set them aside. I'm trying to just make some space here on the table itself, so I'm moving the instructions over to the other side of the table, moving the alloys to the left hand side. The stickers are over with the instructions. Everything's looking good here. I'm just trying to gauge now, looking at the parts. I'm trying to make a prediction here as to which parts I will need and which I won't need straight away for the, let's call it part one of the build. Now, of course, the whole build will be within this one video. I'm looking at these parts here. Yeah, may not need those immediately, but of course I can just grab them over to the side if I need them as time goes on. Yeah, I've got some big parts in some of these bags, which, you know, is pretty exciting. It tells me about, you know, how big this model's going to be. Yeah, I think it's about time that we get stuck into this build. So Yeah, let's just get going. Let's get organized. Here we go. And there we go. We've got our parts organized for the first set of bags anyway that I think we may need. And as you can see, it spans the entire screen. I'm not going to lie to you here. I'm a little bit nervous. It's a bit daunting, the amount of parts that I have in front of me. And I think for future builds, you know, I need to maybe organize this a little bit better, because here's another bag that I think I may need parts from and I may need to dip in and out of. So you may see that in the video itself. We've got some of our other bags there, as I previously said to you, that I won't need immediately. But just going back to what I just said a second ago, I don't think this will work for other builds. There are so many parts here, and it's going to be really difficult to keep them all apart. But you know what? It'll be fine for this one. We'll make it work. We'll persevere here. We've got our instructions here. We don't have much space for them, but you know what? Let's just get going. Let's get stuck in. And just like that, we are finished. Well, let's call it part one of the build. It's where I'm going to stop anyway. and just give you a little update on how things are going. Already you can see the scale of the model, and the suspension there is absolutely fantastic. I don't know why, but that makes me so excited. There you go, you can see the travel and you can see the movement and the stunning yellow shocks and how that is coming together and how that will actually work when the whole thing is built. Just giving you a sort of view of the back end there. It's slightly cut off, you can't really see parts of it. There we go, that's slightly better there. It's a really detailed back end. You can see the number of parts that actually go into forming everything. And of course there you have our stunning 6-cylinder engine with of course the pistons that move, and I cannot wait to see that actually happening whenever the wheels are on and the whole model is together. There you can see all of the parts of the engine beginning to move, and that just makes me so excited. I just love that in the Legotechnic builds you actually get the realistic movements that some other models from other suppliers, you just don't get that. And there you can see the differential and all of the cogs and different mechanisms moving there too. Here we have the undercarriage, which again, it often baffles me about how wide this actual model is and the detail again that goes into it. Look at the width of those side skirts, it's unbelievable. There we've got our steering wheel, we've got a race seat just in behind it, and look at that, the steering wheel is fully functioning. You turn the steering wheel, all of the little mechanisms and cogs go, and it turns the wheels too. That is unreal. I absolutely love that. It'll be interesting to see though how actually easy it is to turn the wheels whenever the alloys and the tires are mounted. I've a feeling that could be a little bit difficult and tricky, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes. We'll not worry about it too much. Again, I'm just going back to the suspension here. It's so exciting for me. I absolutely love this element of the build itself. I think it's really cool how the suspension works, and of course the suspension is fully functioning at the front too. There's quite a lot going on here. There's quite a lot of pieces. A lot of time has gone into this so far, which you can probably tell. I don't know if you can actually gather, but this has definitely been my favorite build so far. So, it's already taken us quite a long time to get to this stage, so let's get going with the rest of the build. I'm pausing the time lapse here for a second because I had to give you an update. This bit was super challenging for me. In all honesty, in all of the Lego Technic builds that I have worked on, this part was one of the most challenging. I found it extremely difficult. So, what did I find difficult? Well, number one, the roof itself, I couldn't work out where to actually pin it into in the actual model, and that's what I'm doing here now on the screen. Once I did work out where it had to actually physically go, I really struggled to line the pins up. When I did get the pins lined up, they just would not go into position for me. That's what I'm working on here anyway. I just wanted to let you know about that. I'm going to let it play in real time, not the time lapse, just so you can see how long this one little simple part, if you want to call it simple, how long it actually took me. So I'm going to roll the music again. Please enjoy. At long last, we are done. Finishing this build has squashed several concerns that I had, such as this build is pointless because the suspension sits too high and it needs to be modified. The kit itself is overpriced and the roof doesn't line up correctly. It needs to be modified too. But now that the build is finished, I couldn't be more wrong. I've loved this build. It has been challenging and expensive, but for now, I absolutely love it. Now, I'm not saying that I won't ever make several modifications to it, but for now, I'm just going to enjoy this one. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one.